Breaking. Y'all better sit down for this one because the streets are shaking and the DNA lab. Baby, it just burned down with all the secrets Chrissy tried to hide. Jim Jones. Yes, the Jim Jones from Dipset. The man who waited decades to put a ring on it, just filed for divorce after a jaw-dropping, neck-snapping, court-certified DNA test revealed the truth. Chrissy been lying. And not just about the baby. Oh no. This rabbit hole goes way deeper. Now let me ask you, how do you fake a pregnancy and convince a man it's his for months while living under the same roof? What kind of villain origin story are we watching in real time? And before you think this is just some petty couple drama, think again. There are burner phones, fake ultrasounds, leaked voice notes, and yes, a whole Miami trip with Cameron that no one was supposed to know about. But the footage exists. Is this love? Is this delusion? Or is Chrissy just auditioning for the next season of How to Lose a Man in 10 Lies? Because Jim ain't just heartbroken, he's activated. And the court receipts? Chile! They just started printing. Buckle up, so let me get this straight. After all these years of ride-or-die loyalty, dramatic televised proposals, and Chrissy holding it down like she was the first lady of Dipset, Jim Jones just found out he's been living in a lie deeper than any love and hip-hop storyline. Because the woman he stood by through thick, thin, and the occasional felony just dropped the biggest bomb of them all. And it didn't come from her mouth. It came from a DNA test. That's right. Jim has officially filed for divorce after learning that Chrissy's recent pregnancy claims were completely fabricated. No baby, no heartbeat, no due date, just an elaborate scheme, reportedly orchestrated to keep Jim emotionally locked in, financially tangled, and reality TV relevant. Sources close to the situation claim that Chrissy, after feeling Jim slipping away and VH1 no longer cutting the same checks, decided to create a new narrative, one that involved a miracle baby at 40+ and an emotional redemption arc for the cameras. But here's where it gets messier. Allegedly, Jim was suspicious from the beginning. Chrissy was dodging doctor visits, canceling ultrasound appointments last minute, and when he asked for proof, she hit him with the classic, "You don't trust me?" The manipulation was so thick, you could cut it with a butter knife. But the real crack in the foundation came when Jim's mother, Mama Jones, never one to hold her tongue, demanded the truth. According to an inside source, Mama Jones cornered Chrissy at a family dinner and straight up asked her to show proof of the pregnancy. That confrontation didn't go well. Chrissy stormed out, Jim stayed silent, and from that night on, the tension was undeniable. Fast forward a few weeks, and Jim reportedly took matters into his own hands. He contacted a private lab, sent in a piece of Chrissy's alleged ultrasound paperwork for verification, and what came back had him packing his bags. Not only was the document doctored, it was pulled from a 2015 pregnancy blog. The watermark was still on the bottom corner, barely photoshopped out. That's when everything unraveled. Jim confronted Chrissy behind closed doors, and according to a close associate who overheard the blowout, she broke down and admitted that she just wanted to feel close to him again. That may have been her motive, but Jim saw it as betrayal on a level he couldn't bounce back from. Imagine being publicly humiliated, emotionally manipulated, and lied to, all while being filmed for a possible reboot season. This wasn't just personal. It was strategic. Some are even speculating that Chrissy was trying to lock in brand deals by leveraging the pregnancy storyline. One source claims she had a baby skincare line concept ready to pitch, complete with mock-up packaging and Instagram handles reserved. It's giving full-blown operation. And let's not even talk about the ring. Remember when Jim finally proposed on national TV after years of pressure? That ring is allegedly sitting in a pawn shop in Queens, according to another anonymous tipster, and Chrissy's been quietly visiting lawyers since April. Oh yes, this wasn't sudden, it was planned, calculated, layered. The divorce filing hit the courthouse like a thunderclap. Paparazzi caught Jim leaving the building looking like a ghost. No jewelry, no shades, just raw disbelief on his face. Fans online immediately started speculating, with many saying, "We knew Chrissy was up to something when she suddenly went quiet on socials." Others are digging up old tweets where she talked about protecting her peace and manifesting miracles, claiming now it all reads like a build-up to the lie. And of course, the memes are out of control. But underneath the jokes, there's real heartbreak. Jim reportedly told friends that he feels like his entire relationship was a performance, that Chrissy always knew what to say, when to cry, and how to pull him back in just before he walked away. The man who once said she's my everything now says he doesn't even know who he's been sleeping next to for the last decade. And the worst part? The DNA test wasn't even supposed to happen. It was a side result from a separate paternity case involving a family inheritance. That's right. Jim was doing due diligence for legal paperwork when the lab flagged discrepancies in Chrissy's records. Talk about karma doing overtime. From the outside, they were the ride-or-die couple everyone rooted for. But behind closed doors, it's looking like a one-sided love story drenched in gaslighting and manipulation. And now, with lawyers involved, assets on the line, and reputations dangling by a thread, the fallout is just beginning. Because when the curtain falls on a fake pregnancy, the truth doesn't just hurt, it explodes. And what's coming next? Oh, you'll want to sit down for that. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, let me tell you, it absolutely does. Because right after that DNA test bombshell hit the ground like a nuke, Chrissy didn't retreat quietly into the shadows. Nope, she doubled down. Word on the street is she started calling mutual friends, spinning the narrative that Jim was emotionally abusive, that he had abandoned her in a time of need, and, get this, that she was the victim in all of this. Oh yeah, she went full PR panic mode. One of their longtime associates allegedly leaked a voice memo where Chrissy is heard sobbing, saying, "I lied, but I lied because I loved him." What kind of Lifetime original movie plot is this? People are comparing her to Jussie Smollett out here, faking evidence, faking emotions, faking everything for attention and sympathy. But the internet wasn't buying it. Social media exploded with side-by-side comparisons of Chrissy's old photos from years ago during a real pregnancy scare versus the suspiciously reused image she tried to pass off this time. The timestamps didn't even match. She didn't even bother cropping the Instagram filter icon from the bottom of the screenshot. Lazy lies, that's what fans are calling it. And now it gets even more sinister. Because allegedly, Jim wasn't the only man Chrissy was trying to trap with this fake baby narrative. Sources are now whispering that there's been communication between her and another well-known hip-hop figure. No names yet, but people are already speculating. One anonymous insider, who claimed to have access to Chrissy's phone records, says she was texting this mystery man late at night, using code words like check-in and rehearsal, which apparently meant meeting up without alerting. Jim, y'all, we're not talking about some minor flirtation here. We're talking potential emotional cheating, if not worse. Jim reportedly found out about these late-night messages right after the DNA scandal, and it only pushed him further toward that divorce filing. But here's the twist. Chrissy's legal team is now allegedly preparing to countersue Jim for defamation of character and emotional distress. Yep. She's pulling the reverse card like this is Uno. According to leaked court documents floating around in industry circles, she's arguing that the DNA test breach was a violation of her privacy and that Jim's team weaponized confidential medical information to humiliate her publicly. Excuse me, what? You fake a pregnancy, get caught in 4K, and then sue him for exposing it? Make it make sense. But in Hollywood, the truth isn't about facts. It's about the best story. And right now, Chrissy's lawyers are spinning one hard. They're saying she was pressured by the toxic expectations of womanhood, that she felt invisible, after years of being sidelined by Jim, and that the pregnancy lie was a desperate cry for help. Meanwhile, Jim's camp is reportedly preparing to expose even more receipts, including email threads where Chrissy allegedly discussed pitching the fake pregnancy storyline to producers for a docuseries comeback. Y'all, she literally tried to monetize the lie. Imagine scamming your man and also turning it into a business proposal. It's not just messy, it's diabolical. And don't think the reality TV industry is staying silent through all of this. Word is, several networks have already backed away from Chrissy, afraid of backlash from sponsoring what's now being called the greatest relationship hoax in love and hip-hop history. A few brands she had pending influencer deals with have also reportedly pulled out. One hair care company that had her face on its homepage last week? It's gone, wiped clean, brand suicide in real time. And then there's the wildest part, Mama Jones. Yes, Jim's mother is back and she's not holding anything back. According to insiders, she's preparing to release a tell-all interview on YouTube, spilling everything from the first red flags to private family drama that paints Chrissy as manipulative from day one. Mama Jones has never been quiet, and now she's got the internet begging for the tea. One quote from a leaked teaser clip: "I always said she was acting like a wife without being one. Now look at the mess she made." Whew, that's not shade. That's a whole eclipse. And apparently the tell-all has clips of Chrissy yelling backstage during past reunions, threatening producers when they didn't give her enough airtime, and even bragging about how she could make Jim dance anytime she wanted. This isn't just a breakup. It's a full-on demolition of a decade-long illusion. And the fans? They're shook. Twitter threads are breaking down timelines. Reddit. Forums are dissecting every episode from 2012 to now, trying to pinpoint where the real lies started. One user claimed they've rewatched every Love and Hip Hop New York season twice, just to build a Chrissy lie map. That's dedication. But it just goes to show, people don't like being played, especially not by a couple they invested their time and emotions in. Jim, meanwhile, has reportedly moved out of their shared home and is staying in a luxury condo downtown, while Chrissy's been spotted staying with a female friend, although some say that's just code for her new mystery man. Either way, this thing has escalated far beyond a fake pregnancy. We're now talking financial fraud investigations, leaked emails, hacked texts, and family members being dragged into the battlefield. And all this time, Chrissy hasn't publicly responded with a full statement. Just a few cryptic Instagram stories saying, "God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers." Girl, this isn't a battle. This is a Netflix docu-series waiting to happen. And with more receipts dropping by the day, it's only a matter of time before the real puppet masters get exposed. Because you don't build a fake life on a fake pregnancy and expect the truth to stay buried forever. And what happens when the court subpoenas her phone? When the show producers start talking? When Mama Jones releases those tapes? Oh baby, the real storm hasn't even started yet. And just like that, the ground started to shake beneath Chrissy's carefully constructed kingdom of smoke and mirrors. Because right after Mama Jones's teaser dropped, guess who slid into the picture with undeniable, unreleased, jaw-dropping footage? One of the former producers from Love and Hip Hop. Yep, a man who's been sitting on hours of raw behind-the-scenes material decided now was the time to let the clips speak for themselves. In one particularly damning scene, Chrissy is caught whispering to a stylist during a set break, saying, "If I tell Jim I'm pregnant again, he won't leave. I just need to lock it in." Lock it in. You could hear the internet collectively gasp when that clip leaked on a fan page with over 1 million followers. And this wasn't some deep fake or fuzzy recording. This was crisp, time-stamped, clear-as-day footage. The response? Instant chaos. Twitter Spaces went live. TikTok creators started reenacting the moment. Facebook aunties were praying and reposting. Chrissy's reputation wasn't just collapsing, it was being bulldozed in real time. And to make it even more brutal, Jim Jones himself finally broke his silence. In a now viral video posted from his condo balcony, Jim looked straight into the camera and said just one line: "I gave my all and got a lie in return." That was it. No dramatic speech, no rage, just a man at the end of his emotional rope. Fans were in tears. Some said they'd never seen Jim look that defeated. Others said this was the maturity and growth they'd been waiting for from him for years. But behind that calm exterior, word is his legal team was going full throttle. They've reportedly filed for full control of all shared assets and are pushing for a restraining order against Chrissy based on emotional manipulation and psychological distress. Meanwhile, Chrissy is scrambling. Her legal counsel is supposedly trying to negotiate a private settlement to avoid any more footage being released, but insiders say Jim is done playing nice. He wants every single lie dragged into the daylight. And here's where it gets even uglier. Because while all this mess was going public, a former friend of Chrissy's, someone she hasn't spoken to in years, came forward with receipts. This woman claimed Chrissy had been lying about her age for over a decade, saying she shaved off 5 years just to stay marketable in the industry. She even posted an old yearbook photo and a birth certificate. Y'all, the lies were layered, like a wedding cake. Then out of nowhere, more DMs started leaking. This time allegedly between Chrissy and a shady promoter who's been blacklisted from the New York club scene. In the messages, Chrissy was allegedly offering to stage an engagement moment at an event in exchange for $10,000 and a bottle deal. What? This wasn't even about Jim anymore. This was about clout, coin, and control. The fakery was industrial grade. And while she's been ducking the public eye, reports say Chrissy has been meeting with crisis PR teams, hoping to rebrand herself as a mental health advocate to shift the conversation. Oh, how convenient. From reality queen to victim, narrative overnight. But the fans are not having it. One user posted, "She's not suffering from a mental health issue, she's suffering from getting caught." And let's not forget the upcoming court date. Because in just a few weeks, Jim and Chrissy are scheduled to appear for a preliminary divorce hearing. And the judge has already ordered both sides to submit all digital communication and financial records. Which means, oh yes, those mysterious Venmo payments, those conveniently deleted texts, and those sketchy cash deposits, everything's coming out. And let's just say, if what insiders are whispering is true, then Chrissy might be looking at way more than a public shaming. Allegedly, there are inconsistencies in the way she handled past business accounts tied to Jim's brand, including withdrawals that were made without approval and invoices sent to dummy corporations. Financial misconduct, on top of fake pregnancy, we are officially in RICO territory. And the sad part? It didn't have to end this way. Jim Jones may not have always been perfect. He's had his moments, his faults, his public arguments. But through it all, he stayed loyal to Chrissy far longer than most people would. He defended her on every platform. He stood by her when people called her controlling. He proposed, on national TV, after years of her waiting. And what did he get in return? Lies, deceit, manipulation, and an internet firestorm that keeps escalating by the hour. But here's the thing about public betrayal. It doesn't just hurt, it teaches. Jim's walking away now with clarity, with receipts, and with the entire internet behind him. Meanwhile, Chrissy is left in a cloud of shame, silence, and scandal. And maybe the most tragic part of it all? That fake baby, that one desperate move meant to bring them closer, ended up exposing everything they tried to hide. The toxic patterns, the fake smiles, the broken trust, all of it, laid bare. No edits, no music cues, just raw, heartbreaking truth. And now that the DNA test has proven the final nail in the coffin, there's no coming back. No reunion episode. No last-minute redemption arc. Just court dates, canceled deals, and a once iconic couple now reduced to viral tabloid fodder. So what happens next? Will Chrissy finally admit the full truth? Will Jim release even more damaging evidence? And will the networks who built this empire of fakery ever take accountability for letting it go this far? We'll just have to watch it all unfold. Because if this scandal has proven anything, it's that even the strongest-looking castles can crumble when they're built on lies. And there you have it. The lies, the receipts, the betrayals. All laid out like a courtroom drama written by scandal itself. But let's be honest, this isn't just about Chrissy or Jim anymore. This is about how deep reality TV manipulation runs, how far people will go to protect a storyline, and how love, fame, and fraud collide behind the scenes. So now we ask you, was it ever real? Did Chrissy actually love Jim, or was he just a pawn in her empire of illusion? And what about VH1? How much did they really know? How much were they willing to fake just to keep the cameras rolling? We want to hear from you. Was this all calculated from the jump? Or did Chrissy get in too? Deep? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell us where you think the truth lies. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're as shocked as we are. Subscribe right now because the drama isn't done. More footage is surfacing, more insiders are talking, and we've got even bigger exclusives coming your way. This channel stays 10 steps ahead, and if you blink, you'll miss the next bombshell. Stay locked in.